Good morning, everyone. This is Bremster, and welcome back to the Hamilton Sudoku series. This is a puzzle that, or the series of, first of all, is a series of puzzles that was originally started at the beginning of this year, I think, for me to be able to record puzzles while I was busy either traveling for or being involved with the Hamilton musical in Australia. And when I say involved with, I was going to a lot of shows when it was finishing in Melbourne. I was invited to the opening night in Brisbane. I was invited to the some special performances in Brisbane. I travelled to Auckland to see it, the final places it was showing in Australia and New Zealand. So there were a whole heap of special events around the show. And this also came around the time when my father passed away. So there was a lot going on in my life and I was absolutely being hammered. And I needed a bunch of puzzles that I could record quickly and easily in batches and then just schedule in advance, sometimes for up to 2 weeks in advance. So a bunch of wonderful people who I don't know who they were got together got together and created a series of puzzles where I would be able to just release them, and they were on theme for what was happening in my life at the time. And I thought that was just very, very generous and wonderful of them, and I just cannot thank them enough. But the series is now done. I haven't recorded them all yet, but all of the puzzles have been submitted. As you possibly saw with the Diablo series, we're going to look at doing other mini series. I don't know, it'll be one every couple of months or whatever. I don't know, but people enjoy doing it apparently. So the concept I don't think is going to go away fully. So this is that series. This is a Farmer Refuted by Samuel Seabury and Alexander Hamilton. And the reason that the set of names aren't a specific set of names is these were done anonymously because when this all started, there was a little bit of a concern of didn't know how many people would be involved, and they didn't want to see the same set of names over and over and over again and have people think I'm just featuring the same people. I don't know who's involved in this, and I think that is just wonderful. I mean, I've got some ideas of people who submitted, but when the Diablo series came in, there was a setter I'd never actually solved one of their puzzles before that came up in that, and it was just great because it means that I just don't know what I'm going to get, and I think that's a wonderful thing. We're not continuing with the anonymity moving forward, but we are going to finish the Hamilton Sudoku series that way. So this track, A Farmer Refuted, is an argument that happens before the first appearance of King George on stage between Samuel Seabury and Alexander Hamilton, sort of goaded into by Hercules Mulligan. Oh my God, tear this dude apart. And one of the things that I loved about the stage presentation of this track is it was the place where the person playing Hamilton could bring their own character to it. I saw, I think, 8 different people play Hamilton in the time that I saw Hamilton being played. My favorite, of course, being Jason Arrow, who was the principal. No offense to everyone else. Everyone else I saw do it was absolutely stunning. And if I'd only seen them, I would never have guessed that they weren't the principal. But they all were able to do their own flares. They would do it in a different way. They would accent it a different way. Because it's a one-on-one argument with Samuel Seabury, each Hamilton was able to present it differently. They would have different positioning. They'd have different staging. They'd have different inflections. All the words would be the same, but it would be done in such a different way that the character of Hamilton that this person was presenting would come out very differently. And I always looked forward to this track, probably more than many others, even though it's not my favorite track in the musical, because this is where I got to see each individual Hamilton's personality come to the forefront. And this puzzle definitely is going to have some personality because I've looked at the rules and I am daunted because this has got some stuff in that I'm not particularly strong at. And now that we're at the tail end of the pack, apparently some of the harder puzzles are coming out. So we'll see how all of this goes. So let's have a look at the rule set from Farmer Refuted. Yeah. So normal Sudoku rules apply. This bit I'm not great at, but still comfortable with. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. We have to shade some cells to form a non-intersecting orthogonally connected path through the grid that connects the diamond cells. So that's these two cells. The path may not touch itself even diagonally. So what does that mean? It has to, so the path cannot intersect. So non-intersecting, or an intersecting path would be something that does something like that, I assume. So that would be an intersecting path because it touches it, it's crossing itself. Or if it was to split like that, that would be an intersection as well. So it can't split like that. It has to be orthogonally connected, and orthogonally connected just means shares an edge. So it must always connect in a way where it's forming like a road path. If it was to do that, that is diagonally connected, and that does not count. The minute I was to drop a cell like that in, that is now orthogonally connected because I've got a path that I can walk along. The path may not touch itself even diagonally. So if I was to draw the path like this and then come down and do that, that would be a problem because this path is touching itself diagonally in. So let's make this a bit clearer. This path is touching itself in those two positions, and that's not allowed. So that is what this all means. And I have to get from there down to there. So that's what I know. Okay, so let's get rid of that colouring. Cells separated by a dot, these dots, either sum to 7 or are consecutive. That's a capitalised or. So I assume that means I can't use 3, 4 on this on a dot. Anyway, that's logic for later. Not all dots are necessarily given. The path will take one, but not both, cell of every pair connected by dots. So the path must touch one but not both of every part of the white dots. So that is interesting. Shaded cells are invisible to the cages and neither contribute to the cage total nor accounted for the cage repeat rules. Okay, so any cell that is shaded by the path, so say the path did this, then this cell would not count towards the 57 cage total. 57 cage total. Cages with double digits are look and say cages. Okay. They should be read aloud. A 1-2 cage indicates that 1-2 is found in the cage. Digit made repeats in these cages. So yeah, is there something like a 1-2 cage I can use? Not that I can see. So the way it would work is, say this was a 1-2 cage. What that would mean is this cage would be forced to have 1-2 in it. It couldn't have 2 2s in it. It must have a single 2. Cages with single digit values are killer cages. Digits in such cages sum to the indicated value in the top left of the cage. Digits in unshaded cells may not repeat in these cages. Okay. Digits in unshaded cells. Oh, so you could. So what that means possibly is if this was a shaded, say this did this, the path did this, it's possible that those two digits could both be 2 because those are shaded cells. And it's only digits in unshaded cells that may not repeat in these cages. So the shaded cells are completely ignored by the cage. Okay. They're the rules I've got. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. I don't know if the theme around this is the path is modulating the key and therefore debating with me or whatever. I don't know. All I know is this thing is daunting. Let's give this a shot. Sorry about that, everyone. I realized at the end of the introduction I had the wrong rules up on the puzzle. So I'm going to do an editing trick to try and get that in for the introduction, and I fixed it now. So let's give this a shot. So what can I tell about this? Oh man. So these are look and say cages that have to have 5 7s in them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this only touches 5 boxes. So this cage only touches 5 boxes. So I have to put a 7 there because I have to put a 7 in there, a 7 in there, a 7 in there, a 7 in there, and a 7 in there. That means I can't put 7 in those two. So this becomes a 7, which means I can't put a 7 there, which means this becomes a 7. So 7 is now in one of those three, but it's not in there. 7 is not there, so there's a 7 in one of those two. Now, cells separated by a dot either sum to 7 or are consecutive. So this can't sum to 7 with a 7 on it. So this is either 6, 7 or 7, 8. So I've got it down to that using that cage. Now that's that done. Now, can I do the same here? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes in this cage, and there must be 5 threes. So that's a 3, which means I can't put 3 there and there's a 3 there, which means I can't put 3 there, there's a 3 there. Can't put 3 in either of those two. There's a 3 in one of those two. Can't put 3 there, there's a 3 in one of those two. This is the same. This is either 6, 7 or 7, 8 because the white dot has to sum to 7 and I can't do 7, 0. So this is 6, 7 or 7, 8. That is not an 8. So that is... Is there any other look and say cages? Single digit, single digit. All of the other cages appear to be single digit. Now this is on the path. And this is on the path, but that's all I've got so far. One of these two has to be on the path, but it could potentially do that to come out. So, This 5 cage, I don't know what that's doing. Like, why is that a cage? Why wouldn't you make it the same as that and leave the cage out, considering it's a given 5? It strikes me as weird. Now, there has to be... Something in this has to be on the path. If this was on the path, this would have to be on the path, and these would have to sum to 9. They couldn't be 1, 8, they couldn't be 2, 7, they couldn't be 3, 6, they couldn't be 4, 5. This... Can this be on the path? If this is on the path, I could do that. And then this could be 8, 1. Okay, no, I am completely wrong. So I'm very bad at path puzzles. 7 is in one of those. 3 is down here somewhere. Oh, this 7 looks up. That's not the 7. This is the 7. 7 is now here. 7 is in one of those two. 7 is in one of those two. And one of those 4. 0 cage. Which means the sum of the digits in this cage have to be 0. Which means they both have to be on the path. I'm terrible at path puzzles. Now, how could I possibly get into this? Like, if I came in this way, how would I get out? This cannot be on the path, can it? Because if this is on the path, how do I get to that? Like, if the path did this, where does it go? Like, how do I get out of this cell? I'd have to do this and the path is touching itself. So this is not on the path. Actually, I'm going to make yellow not on the path, and I'm going to make the path grey. So path is grey, yellow is not on path. So how does this get out now? It can't end here. So it has to come out through here, and it has to continue? I'm terrible at path puzzles. Hang on, I can't have 7 in a 6 cage. So this is on the path. And this has to continue. And this can't branch, so that is not on the path. Hang on, all of these 3s. Shaded cells are invisible to the cages and neither contribute to the cage choices nor are counted for the cage repeat values. So this and this must be off the path. This, and this, and this must be off the path. This must be on the path because there must be a digit on the path on each dot. This must be on the path, which means this is off the path. This is on the path because the path has to continue. I'm terrible at path puzzles. So I've probably only done maybe 10 in my life, maybe a bit more, but I haven't done any in a while. So these cells have to sum to 6, but it doesn't necessarily... Oh, well, I can't use a 3. So I need... Because the 3s are in here. So this can't be 1, 2, 3. I need at least one more cell on the path. But the path could potentially... No, the path can't come to here because then this would be touching diagonally. So that is off the path. But the path could do that. And then this is just a 6. Now this is either a 1, a 2, or a 4, and it's not a 4. So this can't sum to 7. Sorry, a 2, a 4, or a 4. So if this is consecutive, it's 2 or 4. I don't know why I put 1 there. If this is consecutive, it's 2 or 4. And if it was to sum to 7, it would be a 4. And it can't be a 4. So this is actually a 2. Oh, that's why that cage is there. This cage has to sum to 5. So it's telling me the path state. This has to be off the path. I'm sorry, this is confusing the heck out of me. There's almost certainly path tricks. Like I can tell that I need path to come through here. I need path to come through here. But I need one cell on this on the path. Like I feel like it's going to have to do something. Oh, hang on, how does this work? Like that maybe? But I don't have to do that. I could potentially do... This is restricted though, isn't it? Oh no, I could come through there. But then this would be trapped. How do I deal with this? If that's on the path, where does it go? I feel this is going to be an avenue. There's got to be an easier way of doing this. Because if I did this, I'd have to continue on both of those because only one... The path will take one but not both of every pair of dots. So if this was on the path, it would have to go here and here, and then it would have to go to here and here. And then how do I get out of this? Oh, I could do that. Hang on, no, I couldn't. But I could do that. And then this would need to come up and through here, and this could come... Yeah, that works. Except this is a blocker. Oh, I can't think about paths this much in advance. I'm not that good. I can see these dots are causing lots of blockages, but I can't quite see it. Like there's a lot of digits on the path in this cage. Like a lot. Because this is a 6 cage. So the maximum number of cells that can be not on the path in that cage is 3. And I've got one of them here. Hang on. Maximum number of cells in this cage that can be off the path is 3. One of them is there, but only one of them. If it's that one, in order to get in and out of that cell, I'd have to do something like that, wouldn't I? And that's getting my 3 digits. Like, how else do I get into this? Because I can't use that, and I can't come in diagonally. And if I did that, I can't go here. I'd have to continue down, and I'm breaking the rule of the dots. So if I did that, that's got my 3. But if I pick up this one, how do I get in? I could come in that way and then out because I can't go up. Or I could come in that way. But either way, that's giving me my 3. So my 3 have to come from those cells. So these are never on the path. If this is on the path, so these are never off the path. If this is off the... God. If this is... No, it's off the path that counts. So the path has... This is why snake puzzles break me, because hang on, what has to be... I need 3 digits that are not on the path. So the path needs to take all but 3 of these digits. Okay. One of these counts. How do I get the path to take all but... I suppose I could do something like that. Yeah, okay. That's not the way to look at this. I don't know what the way to look at this is. I have to solve this puzzle because it's part of the series. I'm 20 minutes in and I figured out nothing. Seven is in one of those. Oh no, it could be there. I have to get 9 in here, but it could be with 1 or 2. Can't be 3 cells because I have to put a... Oh no, it could be 3. No, it can't be 3 cells, could it? Oh, it could be 1, 2, 6. This path needs to get out there, so that's on the path. So now I'm getting 6 out of those. The path has to take one of those cells though. So there's a 6 in one of these, whichever one is not on the path, because the path has to either go this way or this way to continue. If it goes this way, it goes up, because I have to take one of these two cells. If it goes up, it's not here. And then it goes there. If it goes this way, it goes up. It's not here. And then it's got freedom. I don't get this. This is the start of the path. So this has to go down. So this is not on the path. I can't come through here. Testing times on this puzzle were all like 20 to 25 minutes. I'm at 20 minutes already and I've got nothing. I have absolutely nothing. People are going to turn around and say, this was a 10-minute puzzle for me. I don't understand. Like, I can see there has to be at least one. I mean, there has to be at least one digit on this, in this cage, on the path for the cage. But I have to have at least one digit on the path for this dot. There has to be at least one digit in this cage, but there has to be at least one for this dot. One of these is on the path, but not both. So the path can't come through here. So if it comes to here, it goes down and then not through here. So what would it do? If this is on the path, this isn't, then this isn't, and this isn't. And I've got both. So if this is on the path, this isn't because it would be a dead end. If this was, this wouldn't be, and that would be a dead end. So this isn't. I've got two cells not on the path already. Then I'd have another one in here. And all of these would have to be on the path. Plus one of those two. But I could do that. No, they'd be touching diagonally. So what did that start with? If this is on the path, if this is on the path, this is, so if this isn't on the, no, if this is on the path, this is not on the path. Now this isn't on the path, otherwise it's a dead end. If this was on the path now, this would be a dead end, so it can't be. So this isn't on the path. Now I've got two of my three and one of those, because there's a maximum of 3 cells because it's a 6 cage. So all of these are now on the path. Now, I can't connect these through here, or that's not on the path. So that would do that. This is now not on the path, and that part of the path is touching diagonally, and that doesn't work. So this cell here, rolling all that back, is not... Hang on. Yeah, is not on the path, and that is. Step up in difficulty is insane. Now, if this was not on the path, that would be a dead end. So this is on the path. This has to get out as well, otherwise it's a dead end. So this is on the path, so this is not on the path. These both have to get out, so they're on the path. Now this has to connect to here. Because if this doesn't connect to here, where does it go? I can't go this way, because if I went this way, I'd have to double back. So this is not on the path. This is not on the path, or I'd have dead-ended. So this is the one that has to come through here, isn't it? Now, this can't come down, surely, because this is the bit that has to connect to here. If I connect this to here, this is dead-ended. So this bit can't come down, because if this comes down, it can't go back up. It would have to end here, and then this bit is stranded. So this bit can't come down. This is not on the path. This is on the path. Now, I can't do that. So this is on the path. These are now not on the path, because if I make either of these on the path, they're looping. One of these has to be on the path to connect these up. This has to be not on the path. If this is on the path, I've got a connection. And they're my 3 cells in a 6 cage. Those are 1, 2, and 3. That is not the 7. This is the 7. There's no 3 in there. This is a 3. And now these can't be consecutive. If this is a 1, this can't be a 2. If this is a 2, this can't be a 1 or a 3. So these have to sum to 7. And they can't be 1, 2, 5. So this is 1 and 6, and this is the 2. Now, one of these is on the path, but not both. So there's a 9 in one of those two. I'm terrible at this sort of puzzle. I'm sorry, everyone. Now, these have to sum to 9 without having a 3 in them. 3 digits summing to 9 without a 3 is 1, 2, 6. It's the only way to do it. Because if I don't include a 3, I have to use 1, 2. If I don't use 1 and 2, I end up with like 1, 4, 5. And that is already 10. So I have to use 1 and 2. Once I use 1 and 2, the other digit is 6. So this is 1, 2, 6. So the 7 is up here. I can't put it. Did I make a mistake up here when I said that 7? No, 7 on this dot. This had 7 forced on the dot. This doesn't have 7 forced on the dot. Six is in one of those two. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 9. And there's no 9 there because the 9 has to give me the 9 cage. Sorry, I am not great at path puzzles. This has to be on the path, surely, because this has to come out. And if this wasn't on the path, how would this get out? So these are all on the path. And this 8 cage needs to have an 8 in it. So this is the 8. And that is not on the path. So this is not the 8. And now it has to go this way. This is now not on the path because it would be touching diagonally. This is not on the path because it would be touching diagonally. One of these is on the path. But if this was on the path, this would not be on the path. And that would result in this being a dead end. And that doesn't work. So this is not on the path. This is on the path. But now the path has to do that, doesn't it? Because if this was not on the path, that's a dead end. If this is not on the path, that's a dead end. So both of those are on the path, and this is not on the path. So this can't be the 7 or I don't hit my 7 count. This is the 7, which means this is not the 7, this is the 7. These sum to 7 possibly with that. Not sure. Still need to get path onto this, otherwise I'm going to blow the total. But it could simply just be that, couldn't it? These possibly sum to 9 or just that. The path could do that. Something needs to touch one of these. This can't be on the path. Because if this is on the path, this is not on. So again, if this is on the path, this is not on the path, and that's a dead end. So that doesn't work. So this is not on the path. This is on the path. Path can't touch it, so it can't intersect. So this is on the path. This is not on the path. Path has to continue. This is not on the path or a dead end. Path goes this way and this way. These now sum to 4, so this is a 1-3 pair. So now, sorry about this, everyone. Now these are 3 digits that sum to 7. So these are 1, 2, and 4. These are not 4. So this is the 4. This is a 1, 2 pair. This is not a 1 because there's already this. This is a 2. So this is either 1 or 3, which it's not, or it sums to 7. So this becomes a 5. This 8, by the way, means that's not the 8. This is a 4-9 pair and has been for ages, and this is the 8. This column is missing a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. None of those are consecutive, so this has to sum to 7. This is the 1, 6. This is the 9. This is very clever, but it's way out of my comfort zone. And I really appreciate that. This now can't sum to 7, so this has to be consecutive. So it's 6 or 8, and it's not 6. This is the 8. So this is a different triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, and 9. There's no 4 there. What's up with my throat? I'm so sorry, everyone. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a 1. There's a 5 there. There's no 5 there. These are 4, 6, and 9. There's no 4 there. So I'm going to pause. I really need to deal with this throat. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm hoping I've recovered from that. That's rough. Okay, there is a given 2 here, which means that's not a 2. Now, these either sum to 7 or are consecutive. So this is either 1, 2 to make these consecutive, or this is 5 or 6. There's no 2 there. There's probably more pathing tricks, but I'm not sure what yet. I know one of these is on the path. Sorry, one of these is not on the path. Hang on. One of these is on the path. If this is on the path, this is not on the path. That's not going to work, is it? If this is on the path and this is not on the path, how do I get to that and not get out? If I was to do that, To get out, I'd have to do that, and it's touching itself. If I went in there, I've dead-ended because all of a sudden that's not on the path. So that doesn't work. So this is not on the path. This is on the path. This is now not on the path, or it dead ends. This is not on the path, or I'm intersecting. This has to get out, so this is on the path. Wait a minute, I've got a problem here. This can't go this way, or this is not on the path and this is a dead end. So this goes down. This is not on the path. This goes up. This is not on the path. The 3 can't be on the path, so that's the 3. This has to go up. I'm hoping this has worked and I haven't made a mistake. To connect, this comes out. These are now not on the path, or I'd have an intersection. This 6 cage can only be made up from that digit, so that's now a 6, which means this is 1 and this is 6. 6 in this cage can't appear in any of those, so this is the 6, so this has to sum to 7, making that a 1. These are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 5, and 9. There's no 2 there. But this is a 9 cage, and that has to be the 9. So this is a 2, 5, which sums to 7, which is good. There's no 2 there. This is now the 2 in this cage. This 6 makes this the 8. There's no 9 here. This 6 makes this the 1 and this the 6. This is a 4 or a 5 to complete the column. Now, if the path did this, no, that does work. Hang on, this can't be on the path though, because if the path did this, how do I connect it up? I'd have to loop back. So if this goes, this is not on the path. Okay. This is not on the path because I dead end or something. So this is not on the path. Now, if I did that, if this was on the path, the only way I could get to it is by going straight up, and that would have to be a 7, and it can't be. So this is not on the path. Now, can I do that is the question. This would be a 5. And it can't be a 5. So if I did this to connect the path up, these 2 cells would have to sum to 7, 2 and 5, and there's a 2, 5 pair looking at it. So this has to be off the path, and the path does that. And this is 1, 2, and 4, which is the only way to make 7, which means this is the 5, this is the 9, this is the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the 9. This 1 makes this 3 and this 1. 8 is in one of those 2 and has been for ages, I think. This 9 made this 4 a while ago, and this 9, which resolves this cage, because this can only sum to 9. So the path goes to there, and this is not on the path. And is that the path done? Is my path now actually... Actually, that's a bit dark, or a bit grey. Is my path actually... that? And does that mean I can get rid of the colouring? I probably won't, but that looks like a valid path to me. So I'm just going to get rid of that, and I'm going to keep it with the shading rather than the path tool, because I find the path tool is harder to... But what I can probably do is I can probably go to here, select all the yellow and get rid of the yellow, and there is my path. Now, what am I doing? This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not a 3. That's not a 5. I had to put 5 3s in here, but if this was a 3, I'm not. That's not on the. That's on the path and wouldn't count. That's the 3. So this is not a 3. This is a 3. And I think that's all of the clues done. I've got my 5 7s. Actually, I probably do want to keep the yellow, don't I? It's too late now. Actually, I am going to put it all back. I normally try and get rid of colouring, but it was actually helping me visualize. So I've got my 5 3s, not there, and I've got my 5 7s. The 7 cage is done, the 4 cage is done, 7 cage is done, 6 cage, 0 cage, 9 cage, 5 cage, 6 cage, 8 cage, 9 cage. So should just be Sudoku now. This is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a 4 there. So this is a 6. This is a 4. These, well, this is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a 2 and a 3. This 3 makes this 2 and this 3, which looks back making this 5 and this 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. That 9 makes this 5 and this 9. This row, 2, 3, 2 and 5, which is good because they sum to 7. This row, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 and 8. And there's a 4 there, so that's the 8, that's the 4. There's no 4 there, which I could have got ages ago, but didn't. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. There's no 4 there. There's no 4 or 8 there. This is the 5, this is the 8, this is the 4. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 9. So this is 1, 6, or 9 for the column, isn't it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 1, 6, or 9, and there's a 1 or 9. So this is a 6, which means this is the 9, this is the 6, this is the 1, this is the 9. The 6 here makes this the 8. 6 makes this 5 and this 6. This row needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which looks down making this 2 and this 5. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, and 9. There's a 1 and a 9, so that's the 2. 2 comes out of there. I'll use that 1 to make that 9 and that 1. And that is the correct solution to A Farmer Refuted. Holy cow. That was not a message from the king. Wow. Yeah. My dog speaks more eloquently than that. Ouch. That was rough. That was probably the hardest puzzle I've come across in the series, and apparently it's not the hardest one to come. But it was really challenging and a lot of fun. And I learned a lot about Snake doing it, so that was very, very good. Samuel Seabury, a bit of a snake, I suppose. Not really. He was just standing up for what he believed in. And he was standing up on a box and everything. Yeah, very, very cool. That was a journey. That's why there's a path, because it was a journey. Thank you to everyone who has contributed to the Hamilton Sudoku series. I hope you enjoyed these puzzles. Lots and lots of fun. And yeah, just thank you. Just so much fun to be had. Sorry about the coughing fit. Sorry about the rules problems at the start. I've got a lot of editing to do to get this one fixed. This one's going to be a bit rough. Yeah, but thanks everyone for contributing, and thanks everyone for solving. And I really do look forward to checking the solve counts that Sven has implemented. I've kind of not been paying that much attention to it, but the setter feedback has been insane. So I don't know who the setter is, but they'll be able to check for themselves. Thank you, everyone. And as always, good luck with your solving.